Alright, boys and girls, so today I actually whipped out the Annorax, one of my favorite ships. I decided to take it out of mothballs and take it out and have some fun with it. So, the build I actually decided to go for was a little bit of a mix of beam damage and exotic fun. So you'll see, it's going to be the basic stuff a lot of the way through. You're going to see Terran, Nausicaan, Coalition, you have the KCB, a crafted Disruptor, and the Martok in the back. We have the the Nakora two-piece. We have deteriorating secondary def. We have the elite protomatter deflector from the colony that we've talked so much about. And then we put the temporal defense on there for the nice little jump. Console-wise is where we're kind of mixing both DPS, kind of a tactical beam kind of build with a bit of an exotic flair. Engineering, we have the Martok console, and then we also have the constriction anchor, which is giving us a bonus to exotic damage, a percentile bonus. Science, we have a field exciter with EPG, which is giving us plus 75 base to the stat. We have our bioneural, which is going to give us our hull cap, control, and crit severity. We have the temporal shielded data core. This is a mission reward pickup. I forgot exactly which one, but it's one of the newer ones, future proof arc, I believe. It's going to give us a little boost to physical and kinetic damage resist and part gens and control. So, it works out nicely. The Nausicaan, so we have the full Nausicaan 3-piece, which we've gone over just in case nobody knows what that is. That 3-piece is giving us plus 26 disruptor damage and the whole pen. By now, though, I'm sure everybody's seen it. Then we have the dynamic power redistributor, which again, something you're going to see in almost all builds. Tactical, we did go with 3 locators to give us our disruptor damage and our crit chance. And then the last one, we put in a Delphic tier, which is another percent bonus, 20% to exotic and 5 crit severity. But also, this console does pretty well on EPG builds when you hit it at the right time. Like when the spheres are all bunched up and controlled with your gravity well, the charged particle burst on top of all those spheres, the Delphic tier, it could be really nice. It could do some good damage for you. So you can see over here, again, more tactical on the duty officers. We didn't go much science there. We don't have aux to bat or anything like that really bringing down our cooldowns, so we used a con officer for tactical team, our ZMOC, which is our con officer for attack pattern beta, delta, and omega, and then an energy weapon officers that has a 20% chance of reducing the recharge time when using beam special attacks. In this case, obviously, Fire Will. Our emergency con hologram, which is a necessity when flying the Annorax, I think, because I love this ship, but its turn is not so great. And then we have our energy weapon officers, 2 of them, 1 for crit chance, 1 for severity, both for the stacking. Skills, we'll take a look. It's my basic tactical ultimate. We'll see what we have done. We've went temporal operative and strategist secondary, because for just a straight up kind of beamboat, if I'm using like the Vengeance or something, I actually have gone to Intel over temporal operative. But since we were using a kind of hybrid here, temporal was still getting me good numbers, just Intel was seeing better, because we get the plus 5 to particle gens, and then that's increased by 1.5 for each point you have in there, and we have it maxed out here with 30. So it's giving us 45, so that's giving us plus 50 to part gen, which is nice. We'll take a look at our traits. We went with unconventional tactics, supercharged weapons still, redirecting arrays from the Miracle Worker tactical ship for Fire Will, extension, supremacy, and emergency weapon cycle. A good day to die, fleet coordinator, pretty much your basics here. We put back particle manipulator. Other than that, not bad. One of the newer things I'm running is repair crews. This is from, I believe, the Zenkathi lockbox, and now has just made it way into the Infinity one for personal starship traits. It's really nice. When in combat, gain 1 stack every 5 seconds, up to 5 max, plus 5 all damage resistance rating, and plus 5 hull repair rate, percent hull repair rate. So it's really nice, actually. Basic here, we have our part gen 1, crit chance, severity, pen. We have gone back to the Nakora auxiliary power configuration offense, since we aren't running aux to bat, so our auxiliary power will stay up. Obviously, whenever you're running, like most of the builds you'll see, I am running a version of aux to bat, especially for the starship trait Cold Hearted. But whenever you're running any kind of hybrid that's going to use exotic damage, then you want your auxiliary power, because there's a few different things that are based off auxiliary power. Exotic damage, the amount of damage that the exotic abilities do is based off of it. Healing is based off of it, and also actually Hanger recharge to actually deploy them. So there's a few different things, but for any kind of build where exotic abilities are part of that build's damage, then you want your auxiliary power. So Aux to Bat doesn't work there. And then finally we'll just take a look at our stations. The great seating on this is that it has intel and fits pretty much most of what we wanted to do. Obviously we're not going full exotic, so we've only taken advantage of the Commander Psi here. We have a Gravity Well, we have Charge Particle Burst 2 and an Energy Siphon. These two abilities, I love Charge Particle Burst, especially with the trait, but I don't have it on here. But these two abilities are to trigger our deteriorating secondary deflector. Other abilities you could use to trigger the deteriorating is like Destabilizing Resonance Beam, Tachyon Beam, I believe jam targeting sensors. So then we just have our one little hazard emitters. We have our emergency power to engines and weapons 3, our reverse shield polarity Eng team. Over here we have another TAC. This is on our Intel Station Universal. We have OSS 2 and tactical team. Then we have our Firewheel 3, our Torp Spread 1, and Attack Pattern Beta. So overall I wouldn't say this is the absolute perfectly maximized build here. I just kind of wanted to take the Annorax out. I always enjoy the Annorax, using it with some exotic stuff, so this was kind of just a for fun little hybrid, a mix of, you know, our kind of meta here with the beams and the one torp, and then mixing in some exotic, and it did fairly well. You know, the Annorax is still a great ship, and you know, it's expensive, but if you can get your hands on one, I always suggest it to people. It's really fun.